कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः। जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः परमव्योमभास्करः।
Srimate Nigamanta Mahadeshikaya Namaha. The Pāyasam was distributed by Dasharatha, the king, amongst his principal wives. 50% was given to Kausalya, 25% to Sumitra, 12.5% to Kaikeyi, and the remaining 12.5% was again given to Sumitra. Two questions which we had raised in the last episode. While giving away the Pāyasam share of Kaikeyi, Valmiki states, Kaikeyi chavasishtardham dadau putrartha karanat. Desiring son, he gave that particular Pāyasam portion to Kaikeyi. Why that word son is used only for Kaikeyi? Amongst the various other reasons that our ancestors have wanted children, one of the reasons was after their demise, after the Jivatma has left their physical body, to that physical body, the final rites need to be performed by the son or the daughter. In most cases, it was the son. So the son had to perform the final rites. So amongst the various duties given to the son, one duty was you have to perform the final rites for your father and mother. So if you look at Srimad Ramayanam, though Rama is the eldest, followed by Bharata, later Lakshmana Shatrughna, when Dasharatha passes away, when he dies, when his Jivatma leaves his body, Rama and Lakshmana are in the forests. Only Bharata and Shatrughna, upon the invitation of the messenger sent from Ayodhya, return from Kaikeyi Desham to Ayodhya. It is Bharata who performs the final rites of the king, Dasharatha. Despite having Rama as the eldest son, it is only Bharata who has the fortune of performing the final rites. So what was the reason, amongst the many reasons, what was that one reason that a son is desired for? To perform the final rites. Who performed the final rites for King Dasharatha? Bharata. Thereby, the Pāyasa portion which was given to Kaikeyi, Valmiki hints very beautifully, Putra Artha Karanat. For desiring, for the want of the sons, he gave the Pāyasam to Kaikeyi, probably knowing that it is only her son who will be performing rites for him later. One. Second, it is said in our Vedic civilization that when you are given a plate and you are eating food, you should not keep anything in balance. You should not waste food. Food waste is very bad. Whatever is given to you, eat. If you want to eat less, you have to mention it to your parents or mention it to whoever is serving you that I will eat only this much, don't put extra. Food wasting is bad. Given that food waste is bad, generally parents have this ability to feed their children by telling stories. They will keep narrating stories. Towards the end of emptying that particular vessel, the child will realize that he or she, their stomach is full. They will tell their parents, no, I don't want any more food. You know what the mother will say? Have this last spoon of the food. This is the last morsel of food. Remember, my dear son, of the food that you have tasted today, this large spoon will be very tasty. It will be tastier than most other food that you've had before. So it is called Amritam. Whatever is left over is called Amritam. So here Dasharatha gave away 50%, 25%, 12.5% to Kausalya, Sumitra and Kaikeyi. What was remaining? It was this 12.5%. It is the last 12.5%. It is Amritam. What is it? Pāyasam. As such, it is sweet. And it is Amritam because it is the last 12.5%. That is why he says, Pradadau chavasishtardham pāyasasyamritopamam. Amritopamam, which is equivalent to the ambrosia or nectar. He had to give it to somebody. Whom did he give it to? He thought for some time. Anuchintya Sumitrayai. He thought over and then thought Sumitra will be the a rightful recipient of this particular payasam. Punaha eva mahamatihi. Why? Very important reason. Throughout Srimad Ramayanam, if you observe, Sri Rama was being served by Sumitra's one son called Lakshmana. Kaikeyi's son Bharata was served by Sumitra's other son Shatrughna. So, Kausalya's son was served by Sumitra's son. Kaikeyi's son was served by Sumitra's son. Why so? Why should the sons of Sumitra, Lakshmana and Shatrughna serve the sons of Kausalya and Kaikeyi? Because they thought that servitude, in Sanskritam it is called Kainkaryam. The ability to serve the Lord is of prime importance. That is the purpose of one's life. Akinchit karasya seshatvo anubapattihi, say our scriptures. Without service to the Lord and to his devotees, you can never obtain moksham. Serving the Lord and serving the devotees are equally important. So, serving is very important. For serving, for doing Kainkaryam, what is the first criteria? Generally, it is said that you should be younger to the person whom you are serving. The son can serve the father. The son can serve the mother. The daughter can serve the father. The daughter can serve the mother. It should not be the other way around, where the parents are always serving their children because they are elder. They are older in age, so they should not be doing it. Similarly, amongst brothers, the younger ones should always serve the elderly people, elderly brothers or sisters. So to serve, age is the first criteria. Besides that, there are lots of other conditions, but one important condition is age. Now, Sumitra thought for a moment. The moment Pāyasam was given to Kausalya, she consumed it. Next in line was Sumitra and she was given 25% and she had to consume that Pāyasam. Dasharatha saw that after Kausalya consumed her Pāyasam and the Pāyasam was given to Sumitra, she did not consume. She was waiting. Then later, Kaikeyi consumed her 12.5%. So, Sumitra, who was given Pāyasam earlier than Kaikeyi, did not consume. Now, Dasharatha thought for some time, what could prevent Sumitra from consuming that Pāyasam? Maybe she is waiting for the feedback of the other two queens who will say that the Pāyasam is very tasty and you can consume. No. In her inner mind, she thought, if at all my children are born in the order in which we consume Pāyasam, then I may have a child after Kausalya. So my child may be able to serve Kausalya's child, but he may not be able to serve Kaikeyi's son. So let me wait until the other two queens have consumed, so that if at all the children are born in the same order in which Pāyasam is consumed, I will have a son who can serve the sons of both Kausalya and Kaikeyi. Understanding the nuanced thinking of Sumitra, the king thought, if at all this Amritam, the last ambrosia, nectar-like Pāyasa portion should be given to one, it should not be Kausalya or Kaikeyi, it has to be Sumitra. Anuchintya Sumitrayai punaha eva mahamatihi. So that Pāyasam of 12.5% was given again back to Sumitra. Now Sumitra then consumed both the portions. That is why it is often said she consumed two portions. That is why she had a pair of sons, twins, Lakshmana and Shatrughna. In whichever case, we need to understand how great our kings have also been. Until and unless I was explained to by my Acharya, and unless until I have explained to you, some of you may have not even realized this great thought process working in the mind of Sumitra, and thereby the king was able to decipher what she was thinking. So this great is our Vedic civilization. Now, this Pāyasam was distributed. I'm sure a lot of you must have heard of this Pāyasam distribution, and many great scholars have delineated and elucidated this Pāyasam distribution process in their lectures. You might have heard in person to such great lectures. They would say that Pāyasam was distributed, the queens consumed, and they became pregnant. Again, I'm telling you, Vedic civilization is extremely scientific, because science is no different subject. It is one of those subjects with which you can understand the entire creation better. So science and religion have to go together. In such a scenario, you may be wondering, if Pāyasam consumption can get one pregnant, then men and women don't have to get married at all. So you can give Pāyasam to women and they will turn pregnant. Remember, our way of understanding Paramatma, who has taken an incarnation of Rama, is a natural process. Like how a child is born on this earth, where the man and the woman come together, so was Rama born, Lakshmana born, Bharata born, Shatrughna born. Then sir, they say Pāyasam, it must have been this way. Let us take how many years Dasharatha ruled. It is said in many of these sources that he ruled Ayodhya for 60,000 years. Yes, you heard it right. 60,000, 60,000 years. Sir, ruling for, I'm not talking living, ruling for 60,000 years. What do you mean, sir? We need to understand this is a homework given by our acharyas. In those days, if a king ruled his subjects, administered his kingdom, and created lot of irrigation facilities, drinking water facilities, food facilities, living, dwelling facilities, such achievements were noted. And it was said that a king who had performed the administration so impeccably well for 1 year, his 1 year of regime is equivalent to 1,000 years of a normal king. Because imagine I have to construct 500 wells in my kingdom. I am constructing 1 well a year. Then how many years it will take? Instead, imagine a king has been able to manage the construction of 500 wells in 1 year. He's been able to pull his resources and been able to administer. In such a scenario, whatever achievements a normal king does in 1,000 years, this man has done it in 1 year. This was one calculation. So Dasharatha must have been an extraordinary king. That is why Paramatma chose him as his father. So he must have administered his kingdom for 60 great years. Such 60 great years could have been equivalent to 60,000 years. So in whichever case, Dasharatha was very old, 60. Imagine he must have taken the reins of his kingdom while he was at the age of 10. Now he's completed 60 years of regime. He was 70. So the king would have been very old. Now, for having children at that age, both for the man and the woman, you need a lot of medical and divine intervention. The divine intervention happened when the Lord told the celestials, do not be worried, Pitaram rochayamasa tatha Dasharatham nrupam. I shall choose Dasharatha as my father. So there is a divine intervention. You need medical intervention too. Since we are a country that believes in Ayurveda, maybe the great medical practitioners of the Devas must have got together and brought this medical concoction in the form of Pāyasam to be given to the queens so that they become extremely fertile to give birth to the children. So it must have been a medical and a divine intervention together. So this Pāyasam distribution to the wives was one of the reasons for the children to be born, and the children were born in such normal and natural fashion like how most other children are born. Now, the queens eventually turned pregnant. Let us see who were born as a result of it tomorrow. Dear Astika reader, I am happy to be authoring a 2-part book on the Ramayana in English. The first part is slated for release in the year 2024. The book aims to recreate and retell the Ramayana of Valmiki, conforming to the ancient commentaries and other allied literature. To receive notifications of the book release, kindly register with www.deshikadaya.org/books. Namaskaram.